Hello, my name is Stephanie Drayson, and I am the ESOL Literacy and World Languages Resource Teacher here at Lakelands Park Middle School. And in addition to being the resource teacher, I have the privilege of being one of the very amazing Spanish teachers here at LPMS. I want to take a moment to tell you a little bit more about our Spanish courses. We believe here at Lakelands that learning another language truly does open your heart and mind. Learning someone else's language helps us to gain perspective, to understand other cultures, and it does create empathy. So we do believe that one language will put you in a corridor for life, but two will open every door along that way. And I believe personally that this quote from a former student here at Lakelands Park embodies that. People assume I am measured by my autism, but Spanish will absolve their doubt. And this was written by a student who used an iPad to communicate, but still was able to learn Spanish and use it to communicate in a classroom. And that child truly felt, and I believe he was right, that he went that day from being a student defined by being autistic to being a student who was so many more things in the eyes of himself and everyone else around him just by learning another language, which was a very powerful moment for all of us. Our Spanish and French classes at Lakelands Park are both high school credit courses. This means that your child is learning exactly what they would be learning at the high school. And if they complete the course successfully by earning a D or higher at the end of the school year, they will be eligible to earn high school credit. In order to graduate from a Montgomery County public school, high school, you need to have earned 2 credits in world languages. I'll explain a little bit more about our course for sixth grade in a moment, but if your child begins in sixth grade and they complete it successfully, they will earn a half a credit. The really great thing about starting a language in the middle school is that the curriculum is 100% appropriate for your child. The younger we start to learn a language, the better. However, it is a little scary when you know that that carries high school credit. The county recognizes this, and you, as the parent, will be able to decide if the grade that your child earns appears on your child's high school transcript and counts towards their GPA at the completion of eighth grade. So, at the completion of eighth grade, you will receive communication from the county with your child's grades in all of their language classes, Spanish or French. And you will be able to decide whether or not those grades are visible on your child's high school transcript or that they solely have earned credit towards their graduation requirement. In addition, we do want to account for our native speakers of Spanish here at Lakelands Park. So if you are a native Spanish speaker, you will have the opportunity to take a placement test prior to arriving here in the fall, and I will be coordinating that with our elementary schools. And we will use that placement information to determine a best fit language level. So you might very well be able to skip Spanish 1 and move to Spanish 2. We want you placed appropriately. In addition to taking that placement test, during 7th and 8th graders, eighth grade, all of our native speakers have the opportunity to enroll in Spanish for Spanish speakers, which focuses heavily on reading comprehension and writing comprehension. For our students who are going to begin Spanish in sixth grade or possibly in seventh grade, if you decide you would prefer to take digital literacy, which is 100% a wonderful class to begin sixth grade with, you will start, if you are not a native speaker, with Spanish 1A full year. Spanish 1A full year is the first semester of Spanish 1. And this is the point in time where we're taking that high school course and making it accessible to a middle schooler. So instead of taking 2 marking periods to learn all the information in Spanish 1A, we spend 4 marking periods, their entire sixth grade year. And this really allows us to break things down, to slow down, and to go at the pace that is best for our kids. We can really listen to them when they say, I'm not sure yet, can we stop? We absolutely can stop. It also allows for us to utilize more songs, more games, more practice, which makes students feel more comfortable and helps them to truly learn the language and use it instead of just memorizing or knowing about it. Students are going to have multiple opportunities each day to speak, read, and write and listen in the target language, which is Spanish. And we focus heavily on communication over form, meaning if you think back to your language class, you might have had to fill in the blank numerous times with different verbs. And although that's very important, we know that even if our grammar is not perfect in reality, we still are able to communicate. And we want to really emphasize that with our kids. We want to emphasize that we can communicate even if our language isn't perfect. And our goal is communication in today's language classrooms. There are 4 units of study in Spanish 1A, and during those 4 units, we communicate in the present tense to describe ourselves, our friends, and our family members. We begin with Me Presento, which is such a fun way to start the year, with the alphabet, with numbers and the dates and the weather, and telling each other our birthdays. So it's a great way to also get to know one another in the classroom. And then we move into Mis Gustos y Talentos, where they begin to describe themselves as a person and they tell us what they like to do and what their talents are. And then we take that same vocabulary of liking things to do and talents into Mi Día en la Escuela, where they are able to read a school schedule, share their own school schedule, and tell us what they do during the day. And then finally, our last unit of the year is Nuestro Hogar. And during Nuestro Hogar, the students describe not just themselves, but their family and who they live with in their home. And it's a great way to round out the year. When we come into our language classrooms, we participate daily in collaborative learning. So if you come into our room, you're going to see us singing songs and playing games and most likely working together in small groups. It looks very much like an elementary school classroom, which is how we know we're having fun and learning. And finally, we strive to incorporate as many authentic opportunities for communicating as possible. So students are not just listening to the one Spanish teacher speaking in the classroom, but they're listening to interviews with native speakers. They're reading and listening to blog posts. They're engaging with different articles we find online. They're listening to videos. And all of those give them opportunities to hear the language in real time from real speakers and give them an opportunity to respond in real time. I truly enjoy learning and speaking Spanish with our students here at Lakelands Park, and I hope that you will decide to be one too. If you have any questions, please feel free to use my email. I would love to answer them, and I look forward to meeting you and your child in the fall.